The level death benefit option is by far the best choice if max funding an IUL over a 5 or 10 year period. In this educational episode, I'm going to dispel the myth that level is the devil. If you've heard that, I've got to clear this up. People tell you don't choose the level death benefit option. Level is the devil. That immediately tells me what they don't know. So get ready. I'm going to clear this up for you and dispel that myth. So I'm Doug Andrew, and I've been a financial strategist, retirement planning specialist now for nearly 5 decades. If you've watched very many of my educational episodes on this YouTube channel or read any of my 12 books, you know that my favorite financial instrument is a max-funded indexed universal life insurance contract. Now, there's a lot of insurance agents out there that propose, hey, this is a good product. But then they stand up and they teach their agents who are trying to learn this, level is the devil. You want to choose the increasing death benefit option. No. That's not a general rule. Now, maybe they say that because the vast majority of the policies that they're selling are to younger people who are only socking away like $500 a month or $1,000 a month. Yes, if you're selling an IUL policy to a 25, 30, 35-year-old, then I would recommend you use the increasing death benefit option. What does that mean? It means that when you're calculating the life insurance amount required under the IRS guidelines, TEFRA and DEFRA, to be able to accommodate the amount of money you want to put in, then you want to use the increasing death benefit if you're putting in a monthly amount and you're young. If you're going to be funding this for 20, 25, 30, 40 years, but only until you stop. Then you switch to the level death benefit. So increasing death benefit means all the money you put in, all the interest that you're earning, if you happen to die, is added on top of the original death benefit. Let's say the original death benefit's $1 million. And so if you ended up putting in, $100,000 or $200,000 with interest, it grew to $300,000 and you die, it's going to pay out $1.3 million, not the original $1 million. That sounds good. Sometimes people say, well, yeah, why would you want to have your cash soaked within the death benefit? Why don't you get both? Well, because it costs you. And it will cost you at the end of the day, and it's a cost that you don't want to incur if you're using IUL for living benefits. If your goal and objective is to have the best internal rate of return as possible. Now, what does internal rate of return mean? Over the life of an IUL policy, you want to earn a good rate of return. For me, because I not only use indexing, but I diversify. So usually with my IUL, I will allocate 25% to one strategy, a 1-year point-to-point, maybe another 25% to a 2-year point-to-point, another 25% to a 5-year point-to-point, and maybe another 25% to a 1-year point-to-point with no cap. See, these are all kinds of different strategies, and I diversify. So that takes my average return, where if I didn't do that, from 7.23%, which is the average you would have earned without rebalancing in the worst decade since the Great Depression, 2000 to 2010. You would have earned 7.22%. Your money would have doubled in 10 years. By using diversification, you tweak it and you move it up to 11%, or you rebalance, and that's where when the market goes down, I just let my clients know, hey, let's move back over to the general account portfolio rate in 2002 and 2003 until the market turns around. So they didn't sit there and earn zero. They earned the 5% general account portfolio rate. Or like during COVID-19, we contacted our clients that had money to link, and we said link in March of 2020 to a 1-year point-to-point with no cap, and they got credited 61.33% that year. So there's opportunities here that allow you to be able to earn rates of return that move up to 11 and 14% average. And so I'm just going to say, I've averaged 11.17 on my universal life ever since inception in 1980, because indexing came out in 1997. It's actually been a little bit higher than that, but I'm counting for before we had indexed universal life. But when we had just regular universal life in 1980 to 1990, I never got credited less than 11.75% for that decade, okay? So I've averaged 11.17. I've netted 10.07 cash on cash, retroactive back to day one. That's called the net internal rate of return. So that at the end of the day, if I have $1 million of cash value, you calculate the money you put into it and the timing you put it in there, and you calculate what is the rate of return I would have to be getting to end up with $1 million, and it will say 10.07. Well, I was really earning 11.17, but about 1% of my 11%, 1 percentage point, covered the cost of the insurance that the IRS said had to be there in order for it to be tax-free. But see, I'd rather earn 11 and net 10 than have to go out and earn 15 or 16% in the market in an IRA or 401k, that after earning 15 or 16 after tax and fees, I'm netting 10. Does that make sense? So when you're funding in the early years, maybe in the 20s, 30, your age 30, 35, and you're just talking away monthly money, you can use the increasing death benefit. And that will allow you to fund it pretty good. But as soon as you stop funding it, you switch to the level death benefit, because from that point forward, you want the cost of the insurance to get cheaper from that point forward. If your objective is living benefits, you don't want the increasing death benefit. They're going to keep charging you for the original, the death benefit that you had at that point in time. You don't want to do that. You want the insurance to get cheaper as you get older. You do that by having all of your cash value that grows from that point to be part of the death benefit. And they're only then charging you for the net amount at risk. Now, if you're 50, 55, or 60, and that's most of my clients, they're older, they're doing this for retirement, and so they are putting in like $100,000 a year for 5 years. They're max funding their policy in 5 years. They're putting in $200,000 a year. I just met with a client here earlier today that is putting in $400,000 a year. Okay. Now he happens to be 38, but he's going to be done funding this in 5 years. He's a young business owner. And so he's putting in $400,000 a year for the next 4 years. He's going to maximum fund it in 4 years because he's so young. Well, it's a no-brainer. He needs to do the level death benefit, because even though he's 38 and he has a total of about $6.4 million of life insurance, when he puts in that he's going to put in $1.5 million in the next 3.7 years. And so what's happening is when he gets his money in there, within about 4 years, with interest, he's going to have well over $2 million. But see, the insurance company's only going to be charging him for the difference of the $2 million of cash and the original $6.4 million. They're only going to charge him for $4.4 million. And then as that couple of million doubles to $4 million, they're only going to charge him for the remaining $2.4 million. And then when that $4 million doubles to $8 million, there's no cost for the insurance anymore. If I have a 60-year-old that sets up a policy and they put in $500,000 and they put in, in accordance with TAMRA, $100,000 the first day of the first year, another $100,000 the first day of the second year. In 4 years and 1 day, they've got their $500 in there, plus interest on that. But let's just keep it simple. They've got $500,000 in there. The minimum death benefit for a 60-year-old is only twice $500,000. It's $1 million. Well, as soon as they have $500,000 in there, if they die, they only leave behind $1 million. But we did it for living benefits. If they die, it's still a great rate of return, but they likely aren't going to die. So when they get $500 in there, the insurance company's only charging for the net amount at risk the remaining $500,000. In 7.5 years, usually that $500,000 will double to $1 million. The $1 million now equals the original death benefit if they chose the level death benefit. If they chose the increasing death benefit, the insurance company would still be charging them for the original $1 million, and they're older. The cost, it keeps going up. If I use the level death benefit, the insurance is not costing me anymore in the 12th year. In this example, many of my clients, their cash value equals or exceeds the death benefit by the 12th year, and for sure by the 20th year, if they use the level death benefit. And that's their objective. Now, if they die, the death benefit that's paid out by the insurance company is only 5% greater, because that's Tefra and DEFRA rule, until they hit 95, and then it equals that. But see, if they die when they have $2 million in there now, and they started with $500,000, it doubled twice, they leave behind $2.1 million. But the insurance company is only charging for $100,000 of death benefit. The interest on $2 million sometimes has been 10, 20, 25%. They make $500,000 in 1 year on $2 million, and the cost for $100,000 is a couple of $1,000. This is achieved by using the level death benefit. So if somebody tells you, oh, this is the ironclad rule, level is the devil, you better think twice. No, you use level once you've stopped funding a policy. And if you're older, if you're going to fund the policy within 5 years or 10 years and you're older, you use the level death benefit right away. Does that make sense? If you want to learn more and see examples, I would recommend you study this book called The Laser Fund. Laser is an acronym that stands for Liquid Assets Safely Earning Returns. A properly structured, maximum funded, indexed insurance contract. If it's for an older person, you use the level death benefit. Younger, and they're putting in monthly amounts, they're not going to fund it in 5 years, then you might want to use the increasing death benefit until when? When you have funded it and you stop. Then you switch. And you'll see examples of that. And so study this book. Now, you can get it on Amazon for $20. It's and plus another, $9 or $10 for shipping and handling. If you do that, thank you, but I'll gift you one for free. But this is actually 2 books in one. This side is 200 pages, 14 chapters with all the charts and graphs if you're a left brain learner. If you're a right brain learner, you flip over and read this one. This is about 100 pages, 12 chapters with 62 actual client stories of how they're structured correctly. The vast majority of these examples is the level death benefit because the objective was to earn the highest net internal rate of return as possible. They want to earn 11 and net 10. If they stayed with increasing death benefit, they would maybe earn 11 and only net 7. You don't want to do that, okay? And so you simply go to laserfund.com or click on the link below, and you contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I require a little bit of skin in the game, but I'll cover the rest of the shipping cost, and I'll pay for the book. I'll fire out a hard copy to you via priority mail. But check out, if you like to listen and learn or watch and learn, there's audio and video formats there. There's regular educational webinars that are free. You can even schedule an appointment to talk to an IUL specialist at no charge or obligation to see how a properly structured maximum funded IUL may work in your particular set of circumstances. And if you're going to maximum fund it within 10 or 15 years, and you're going to be done, especially in 5 or 10 years, oh my heavens, use the level death benefit. If somebody says, oh no, you're going to fund this, we need to use the increasing, you better walk away and talk to somebody who knows what they're doing.